Step in the ring, no fear, all bite, hands up high. We train for this fight, bell gon' ring, it's war on sight. This is boxing life, this is fight night. Sweat on the floor, we grind, we climb. Every bruise on the body means we're on our time. Shadow in the corner, punch sharp like a knife. Every round, every rep.
Yes, good evening, fight fans. It's Mr. Neutral, Red Corner's resident interviewer here at Red Corner. We are sponsored by BoxingFightZone.com. All the links are in the bio. Please check them out for your boxing merchandise and apparel. And yeah, get all them. Thanks to Braden and the team. And put Red Corner in the discount box and you might get a couple of wee cheeky discounts. Right now, today's, ladies and gentlemen, I've got a man whose professional record doesn't really tell you half the story. A decorated amateur who spent around 9 years away from competitive boxing. Went through a huge physical transformation, came back to the sport, turned professional, and only 6 professional fights, became a 2-weight Welsh champion. He dethroned Ethan George at super middleweight, then dropped to middleweight and stopped the previously unbeaten Carvel Crocker. He's Swansea's Willy the Gladiator Gilheaney. Welcome, Willy, to Red Corner Boxing, mate.
Good to be on, mate. Thank you for having me.
Not at all, not at all. Now, you know, before we talk boxing, mate, belts and professional boxing, who is Willy Gilheaney away from the ring?
Away from the ring, I've had to describe myself. I'm just an easygoing family man, to be honest. Very relaxed individual, maybe too relaxed sometimes. And that's it, man. I'm a family man.
Yeah, absolutely. And seeing the families, my question number 2, as boxing seems to run pretty deeply through the Gilheaney family, where does that fighting tradition actually begin for you?
Obviously, for me, my dad was like to be honest, a bare knuckle legend. To be honest, never lost a bare knuckle fight. Jimmy's my dad, yeah. My uncle Michael also another bare knuckle legend. As you go back further, obviously my granddad, Willy Gilheaney, Sonny Gilheaney, it was a good man. To be honest, most of the Gilheaneys can fight. I think every one of them really can have a scrap in some sort of way. But the main fight man was my dad and my uncle Michael, Sonny Gilheaney. It's definitely more than anything, really.
Always.
Sorry,
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we seem to have a bit of a connection problem. These things happen at Red Corner all the time with our studio. We will settle down, however. You know, we were mentioning Jimmy,
yeah.
You know, and others, the influences you had in your life, especially, I mean, great, your father, your uncle, your grandfather, all in the fighting game. When did you first think to yourself, well, I don't want to get into bare knuckle, I want to actually box?
Yeah. Obviously, I'll just, as soon as I could walk, my dad had put his hands up and let me punch. And
oh, we seem to have lost them. There's a dodgy connection here sometimes, especially if he's out and about in the car. You rely on your mobile data. That's a shame. Hopefully he'll be back very soon, as he presents himself. So what I was basically getting at with Willy there, you know, he's grown up with a big family fighting tradition. His uncle, indeed his father, and his grandfather, who bears the same name, Willy Gilheaney. Obviously, that was an influence all the way through his life, and you know, getting from that bare knuckle tradition to break the mold, a little bit like, you know, the Tysons and that. You know, it's pretty hard to do because, you know, you get these family things that happen. Here he is back. Thank goodness. I was
apologize. I don't actually know what's going on.
It shit happens. It shit happens, mate. That's what happens. Don't worry about it. I'm just glad you're back. Look, we got up to where, you know, your family being a big influence now. You're a decorated amateur.
Yeah.
You know, but then sort of boxing, you disappeared for 9 years. You know, if you don't mind me asking what happened.
To be truthful, I passed my test, my driving test. I mean, hanging around with my pals, and I started to drink beer. Going out like most weekends. Obviously, I met my missus now, who's my wife now. She lived in Yorkshire, so most weekends I was going to see her actually. And it became like boxing. It went from like obviously being me main sport to like something I do like once a week just to stay fit, and then eventually then I just completely just stopped training, moved away from it altogether. Like,
And what was the catalyst to bring you back?
Yeah, so basically, I got married, put a load of weight on, and obviously had kids. In my thing, then I was never going to box ever again. One day I went as a youngster. I trained with Mario Macronelli's. Obviously, Enzo Macronelli's father. Mario passed away, and we left gyms. And big story, long story, to be honest. I ended up going. My two younger brothers started back in Enzo's gym. Enzo was the trainer then. He had his professional license also. So I went to pick my little brother up, and Enzo called me in the ring to do some rounds on the pads. I was obviously substantially overweight. I hadn't boxed in years, like a little bit rusty and that. But I got in anyway. I managed to do about 20 seconds. And he said, you know what, you've still got it. And I think it kind of spurred me back on. Like, I saw it as a bit of a calling. I thought it's a bit of a coincidence. Like, I've come back to this gym after all that time. Enzo's got a professional license. Obviously, my dream as a kid was to be a world champion, a professional boxer. So I thought maybe the stars have aligned this time. And I mentioned it to Enzo. He wanted me to go back amateur before he went professional. Obviously, I knew what he was doing. He was just testing me just to see how long I'd stay in the gym. I don't think he actually believed I'd lose the weight and stay in there. But yeah, I stuck in. More or less everybody wrote me off straight away, saying that I wouldn't stick to it. I did all my own dieting. I had no nutritionist. Did all my own training. I had no personal trainer. And basically the weight flew off. Got a professional license. I said I don't want to fight amateur. I said I've done amateur fighting. I said I want to go professional. That's my dream. That's what I want to do. And yeah, within a couple of months, I actually turned professional and had my first fight.
How much do you believe in fate?
Oh, listen, I didn't believe in it that much before, but now I do, 1,000,000%. I think sometimes you're destined for something. And I think no matter what you do, no matter how much you try and run from it or avoid it or whatever, in the end, your destiny does. It finds its way to you.
It's strange because your whole life led up to that moment. Enzo's whole life led up to that moment, that connection. And ultimately, would you say that in some respects, boxing saved you?
What, 1,000,000% boxing definitely saved me. I was overweight, in a really bad place mentally. I was really depressed. I didn't actually know what depression was at the time, but looking back, like I was in a bad place, and boxing training helped me. It seemed to give me a bit of peace, what I couldn't find. Obviously going to the gym with the likes of Enzo and like there's a good group of boys up there, and like just the togetherness, and like you had like a brotherhood then, it seemed like, and it was the missing piece, what I was actually missing in my life at the time. I didn't realize it, but it's brought me so much peace. I'm just a completely different person. I'm better at home. I'm better with my kids. I'm better with my wife. I'm a much nicer, more grounded person since I've been boxing.
Absolutely. Focus, determination. Enough changes our outlook on life when we're stuck in a rut. And as I said,
honestly, unbelievable.
You got to that point, and an incredible connection. It all changed. Now, look, you said you didn't want to go back to the amateur. Absolutely bloody correct. You turned professional. I think October 2023, 14th, and you made your professional debut against Steve Davis, right? Well, 7 fights himself, so they didn't want to throw you in too deep. But have to say, knockout in 4 rounds. Thank you, debut. What are you like? Love it. But look,
Oh mate, it was. I was really nervous. I hadn't boxed in 9 years. It was 9 years at the ring. I lost. I think for that fight, I was 17.5 stone when I came back. I weighed 12 stone on the day of that fight, so 5.5 stone I lost.
70 pounds, ladies and gentlemen. 70 pounds. Come on.
But I was worried then, is my power carrying down? Am I going to be chinny? I had a lot, it was so much pressure on me going into it. A lot of people actually didn't believe in me. I was getting rode off by loads of people. That fight was kind of last minute as well. I think I was supposed to box someone else, and then Steve ended up coming in last minute. And mate, there was so much pressure on me. I got in there on the night, and it was like I never left. It was honestly, it was like I just rolled back. I had to roll back the clock. It was unbelievable, honestly. Zero ring rust, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the Brangwyn Hall in Swansea was, treated to a knockout in the 4th round in your pro debut. Like, you've gone from strength to strength. Josh Cook, 39 fights by the time you fought him, and like not half decent operating Jackson Asagi, but what's his name? Balchalskis fight at Swansea LC2. Was that your first experience of a decent overseas operator?
I would say I had a lot of problems when I first started. Like Steve Davis in my debut was a really tough guy. Yeah, Steve actually trains in the gym with us now.
Oh, right.
It was the old if you can't beat them, join them.
Yes.
He joined up with us. He's a lovely fella. I really, really think the world of Steve. A really genuine, nice fella, but also a very tough man. So that I had a hard fight on my debut. My second fight, I had a chest infection, and I didn't mention it to Enzo until the night of the fight because I was afraid of he pulled me out.
He would
have pulled me out. I know he would have. So I just never mentioned it until the night, and I was struggling. I wasn't 100% committed to putting it on Josh Cook because I was a bit worried. What if I gas here? My chest was really tight. I was suffering a little bit. So that made it a little bit harder than what it was.
Me third fight was around.
yeah. But honestly, that was a nervy one. Jackson Asagi, me third fight. I remember getting on the scale. He was over a stone heavier than me. It says different on BoxRec, but he was over a stone heavier than me. I got on the scale with I had jogging bottoms on, my phone, car keys, all stuff in my pockets.
Yeah.
And I was 11 stone 12. And he was almost 13 stone dried out. So on the night, I think he was a little bit more than a stone heavier than me. But that was, and he was a dirty fighter, really dirty. Hit me on the back of the head, low blowing me. He headbutted me collarbone. He kept doing that. He was just a really dirty fighter. So that was a hard one. My fourth fight with Klaufus or whatever his name is. I actually didn't even train for that fight. Genuine. I was supposed to box Ethan George, and the fight got cancelled on the December. I think I boxed him in February.
No,
and
April.
Was it April? Was it?
You were meant to box him in February, but
not Ethan George now. But Klaufus fella, the foreign guy. I actually had I had a problem with my leg, and I couldn't run. So we had to go up a weight again. The fight, it was light heavyweight. That fight was.
Right.
I couldn't run. I couldn't spar. So the only training I actually did for that was the last 2 weeks. I was on the bike just to bring my weight down. I think I had 2 kilo to lose because it was just after Christmas and I had to put a bit of weight on. So that made that a hard fight. And then it was them four. Once I got them out of the way, then I seemed to pick up. Then obviously I boxed Ethan George after that.
Yeah, great one.
And I don't think that was a hard fight.
On Welsh BBC as well.
Yeah,
picking up that title here at Super Middle. And then you went down to middleweight after that, losing another £8. Incredible stuff, because you can only £9.5 because you come in at £158.5. Carvel Crocker, he's a decent operator. Good weight.
Very, very, very good fighter. Obviously trained by Gary Lockett.
Yeah.
Comes from a good stable of fighters. Really sharp he was, taller than me, really awkward.
Great knockout. TKO. So that's and of course you can see the progression. And then of course Cyrus Pattinson on the 1st of this month. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Vacant WBO European welterweight champion. Welterweight.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Unbelievable.
I'm sorry for laughing, my man, because it's that is not a resume. Someone would go, hold on a wee man, what's going on? I'm seeing 5 different weight classes here. It's an incredible resume.
To be truthful, the fight with Ethan George should probably have not even happened, to be honest, because my thing was to come down to welterweight straight away. But we had like a little bit of a rivalry started, and to be honest, neither of us were really super middleweights. But it was a little bit of a rivalry, a little bit of back and forth went on, and then that fight happened. I'm not a super middleweight. I should never really follow that weight.
Yeah.
The middleweight fight, that was because I couldn't get nobody to fight in that time. So Enzo got me that fight with Carvel Crocker. But obviously I'm at my natural weight now, which is welterweight. That's the weight I will be campaigning at.
Wow, incredible. And the fact that you can shift that at a moment's notice, because you had a year between Carvel Crocker, Cyrus Pattinson. Was that time that you took to really focus on welterweight and welterweight only?
No, mate. To be honest, I was going after Carvel Crocker. I was supposed to fight a fella called Sean Yaxley from North Wales for the IBO European title, and that was super welterweight. So I was gradually going to come down the weights. He retired, so I finished 2025. Although it was a good year for me, I finished without that fight. I had another fight for the IBO international title locked in with a fella called Muhammad Ali from Manchester. That was at welterweight. I did a full training camp, and on the week of the fight, he pulled out with a back injury. I was devastated. And then I found out that he was. Someone sent a screenshot of someone tagged him in a post on Instagram that he was in the gym the day after. So obviously I was distraught. I thought, he's just wasted so much of my time. We locked in a second fight in May, and I thought he's never going to do the same thing to me again. So I trained my heart out for this fight. And he did the exact same thing. I was supposed to box him in May. The week of the fight, he pulled out, and he said, I could have fought, he said, but me and my team decided for me not to fight. And yeah, so basically he wasted a year out of my career.
I would say so. There should be punishments for something like that. It's cost you time, money, all the rest of it. No, but you are a 2-week world champion. You are a WBO European welterweight champion. Sky's the limit.
I believe so. I do. I believe in my ability, and I believe I can go all the way. The boxing, sometimes things are out of your hands. Like, you can't actually pick who you want to fight. But if, like I said at the beginning of the video, if the stars align and I do get the opportunities, I believe that I can beat most, if not all, of the fighters that in the division. I could give them all a good run for the money anyway.
You got 7 fights, sorry. 2 Welsh titles, a WBO title. The weight is set. Willy Gilheaney is set. What's Willy Gilheaney's next target?
I believe I have another fight at the end of the year. I can't speak too much about it, but that looks like another good one. Providing I come through that, I believe I will. I'm not so worried about the British title. I don't really actually care about that. I would like to build myself up in the WBO rankings. I'm 30-year-old next month. I haven't got time to sit around and wait. I promised myself 20 professional fights before I started, and I promised that I would never have no more than 20 professional fights. I've had 7, so that means I've only got 13 fights left. In them 13 fights, I want to build my way to becoming a world champion, because that was my dream. I never dreamed of winning the British title. I never dreamed of being of fighting all these British fighters. I dreamed of going to America. I dreamed of winning a WBO title or a WBC title. That's the dream. That remains the dream. That's what I want. That's the end goal, to win a world title.
Fantastic. Get over the British. You're better than that. Let's start talking bigger and better things. 30 years old. You need to get a move on. Gary Lockett's now your manager.
Yeah.
You know, it's going along very, very well. He's got the belief in you. The whole team has. I'm starting to see when are you going to get tested? And unfortunately, it could be a couple of years. You keep going up these levels. I mean, to be stopping Carvel Crocker, you know, at 8-0-0, that's a statement win. It really was. And only your second 10-rounder as well. Incredible stuff.
Carvel Crocker, the win against Carvel Crocker, it was one of those that I really like. I really enjoyed that win.
Because in the build-up to the fight, your favorite fight?
It wasn't my favorite fight, but it was my favorite win, and especially because of the way he carried himself in the build-up to the fight. He thought I was going to be really cocky. I'm a confident person, but I'm not cocky, and I'm a nice person. Yes. In the build-up, the interviews and so on, he carried himself with like a really bad, like, honestly, he was like treating me like I was rubbish, like he was going to kill me. So that was the one I enjoyed the most. Like, I really, really enjoyed beating him up. I think, to be honest, they shouldn't have went the one more round as well. When I dropped him with the uppercut, I think they should have just stopped it there and then, because he was out on his feet. He didn't even look at the referee. He just he waddled back to his corner. What I assumed that he's got to look at the referee, and the referee's got to look, see if he's okay, but he just had his head down and walked to the corner. So yeah, I really did enjoy knocking him out.
That's his detriment, and maybe his team should have realised just how bad he was, but they let him come out. Look, as he said, sky's the limit. I think you got to go far, Willie. It's just about getting you the right fights. This now that you're WBO European welterweight champion, opportunities should be coming your way. I hope it happens at the end of the year for you, like you were saying. But look, I've got one final question for you, mate. Right?
Yeah.
Forget records, forget belts, forget promoters, forget rankings. You had approximately 9 years away from competitive boxing. You've spoken about depression. You've transformed yourself physically, returned to boxing and become a 2-weight Welsh champion. So imagine you can walk back into a room and meet Willy Gilheaney, who is at his lowest point. He doesn't know what's coming. What would you tell him?
I just say, you know what? Just relish in the moment when it does come, because it is going to come and it's going to work out for us. It might not seem like it now, but one day we're going to be a double Welsh champion and a WBO European champion, and we're still very good looking as well.
That's it. I love it. That is it. I made that deliberate because I wanted that final emotional payoff from you that says, right, that's justified why I've gone through what I've done. And I would go back and tell him exactly that. You're going to be a 2-weight Welsh champion and our WBO welterweight champion in 7 fights. And if you think that's the limit, forget it. I've got 13 fights left in me where I will be a world champion.
One day we'll get that. We'll get that world title.
One day. It'll be very soon.
Willy
Gilheaney, thank you very much for joining me, Mr. Neutral, here, Red Corner Box. It's been
appreciate having me on, mate.
Young man. You keep going the way you're doing. You're an absolute credit to the sport.
Thank you very much.
On the boxing and the fans, I want to thank everybody in the chat. There's a few Willy Gilheaney supporters. Darren Aston from Sachalo. You enjoyed your.
How are you, Darren? You all right, brother?
I've tried not to ask the same questions, Darren, but hopefully Willie enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, I enjoyed having the chat, Depot.
Thank you, mate. And best of luck. And of course, please stay in touch. We'll follow your journey for the next 13 fights, my man. And I want to see you the world champion.
Watch me win that world title, boys. When I win that world title, I'll come back on. We'll have a chat then.
You know, my man. This
God bless you,
program
my friend.
sponsored by BoxingFightZone.com. Check them out. All the links are in the bio. Thank you very much to Braden and the team there. Thanks to Willy Gilheaney. Thanks to everybody out there. This
God
is
bless you,
Mr.
brother.
Neutral. We're signing out. Goodbye.
Step in the ring, no fear, all bite, hands up high. We train for this fight, bell gon' ring, it's war on sight. This is boxing life, this is fight. Nah, sweat on the floor, we grind, we climb. Every bruise on the body means we're on our time. Shadow in the corner, punch sharp like a knife. Every round, every